Attorney General Merrick Garland says he is planning to evaluate and strengthen the Justice Department's policies and procedures for obtaining records from members of Congress. Democratic Representatives Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell say they learned the Trump Justice Department subpoenaed their personal records from Apple as part of the probe into media leaks. Both are members of the House Intelligence Committee. The Attorney General is also meeting with leaders from top media companies today. Numerous journalists from CNN, the New York Times, and Washington Post learned their data was turned over to the DOJ. Former President Trump's search for information from Apple even included one of his own top advisors. The Times reports in 2018, Apple gave the DOJ information about then White House counsel Don McGahn and his wife. McGahn played a major role in Robert Mueller's Russia investigation because of his role as the top lawyer in Mr. Trump's 2016 campaign. For more, I want to bring in Keir Dougall in New York City. He is a CBS News legal contributor and former federal prosecutor. Keir, welcome. Great to see you. What does it signal to you that the former president reportedly wanted to seek data from his own legal counsel?
So we need to learn much more about this, but the core concern about a subpoena for information relating to White House counsel Don McGahn, and as reports show, also his wife, raised questions about whether or not there's a proper basis for such an extraordinary subpoena, or whether at the time that it was issued in February of 2018, as it's been reported, this was an effort at political payback. At that time, Don McGahn had become the subject of the Mueller investigation regarding questions about whether or not he had dissuaded President Trump from firing Special Counsel Mueller, and there were contentions between the two men, Mr. Trump and Mr. McGahn. So there appears to have possibly been and potentially been a motive to extract potentially political payback from Mr. McGahn. The question is that what is going on here? That's the concern.
And so, Keir, is the Justice Department allowed to seek data about journalists? Is that legal? Wouldn't that somehow violate the First Amendment's freedom of the press protections?
So for all of the subpoenas that have been recently reported, the one to Mr. McGahn, the ones you're referring to, Tanya, to the reporters, the Justice Department has very strict and thorough guidelines for issuing subpoenas because to attorneys, to journalists, because of the chilling effect that the subpoenas can have if they're used improperly on the attorney-client relationship or on the press's core function to support our democracy by reporting the truth about the operations of our government. So those subpoenas should have been reviewed at an extremely high level, hopefully by someone correctly applying the policies and the law before issuing them. This is part of the concern about these subpoenas. What was the basis? Was there a proper basis, or was this somewhat of a fishing expedition designed to try to dig up political dirt on either someone that was not towing the line with President Trump in the case of Don McGahn, or perceived not to be, or the press investigating the Trump administration?
And so, Keir, in terms of Apple's role in all of this, a private company, once Apple is faced with these subpoenas from the DOJ, they are then legally obligated to turn it over. Is that correct? Or can the company refuse on privacy grounds?
Well, they are legally obligated to turn the materials over under the order unless they have a basis to challenge the order. And part of the problem, or I imagine part of the problem for Apple here, was that the non-disclosure order that went along with the subpoenas prevented Apple from communicating with any of its customers about the existence of the subpoena to find out whether to get any understanding about what the basis for the Justice Department's request was, and then to make a challenge to that request. That they would have needed, I think, extraordinary grounds, simply on privacy grounds, to take an appeal and challenge the order. So I think Apple did what we understand them to have done, to have been reasonable under the circumstances here.
And Keir, what concerns do you have with the politicization of the Justice Department, given this alleged investigation and these subpoenas? What do you think that AG Garland needs to do to address these issues?
Right. So I saw a report in the Washington Post that the responsible officials were at least reportedly denying to their associates, for instance, that they knew about some of these subpoenas, particularly the ones that have also been reported to legislators, to Adam Schiff and to Eric Swalwell. The fact that those subpoenas may not have even come to the awareness of the high-level officials in the Justice Department suggests that the policies may not have been robust enough, or they may not have been implemented appropriately. In other words, there may be a failure of supervision here, which is a separate problem. But the moment I think that you are subpoenaing somebody like the White House counsel, an act that could chill the relationship between future presidents and future White House counsels, particularly at a moment when the White House counsel was still employed. He quit months after the subpoena was issued, giving the administration an opportunity to simply request those records, whatever they were seeking, from him directly. All of this set of circumstances is very concerning. It has the potential to trample not on separation of powers, chilling the press's role in democracy, chilling good advice to the president. All of these issues need to be apparently much more closely supervised. And from the reporting this afternoon, Attorney General Garland is looking to put a review in place to see what needs to be changed and strengthened.
Indeed, very serious issues that all of this brings up. Keir Dougall, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, we always appreciate your legal expertise.
Thank you.